What is going on, YouTube? I'm Brandon. You're back in the Gillstrap Garage. We just finished up some actual needed repairs on the Dyna. Alright, you can check out the previous video on this thing making a crazy noise. But recently, working on a buddy of mine's bike, he went and bought himself an intake and realized it was not going to work for his make and model. So, long story short, I ended up with it. And I haven't put it on yet because my bike has an external breather setup. I believe I posted a video of it. You can probably see it. I'm not a big fan. I've never considered this to be a permanent solution for how I want to run this external breather. But you can kind of see it tucked back up in here. I modified it. I drilled these holes. I tapped it. I basically ran all of these lines. So what I'm going to do to prepare this new filter, Arlen Ness doesn't give you the option of running an external filter. So I'm going to show you what we're going to have to do to make it work the same way I got this one working. And you know, realistically, I could consider getting rid of the external breather, putting that oil back into the intake. But you know, I really just don't want to do that. I like keeping my intake nice and clean, not trying to recycle the oil. I'd rather put a couple little drops on the ground every once in a while. So here's the kit here. This is the Arlen Ness Big Sucker Stage 1, yada yada yada, whatever you want to call it. And here's the intake. You have your hollow bolts that go through here, and those are what allow your heads to breathe. But what it does, you might be able to see that little hole that's in there. That hole comes out and it dumps out here, and then it just pulls all of the oil out, sucks it back in your intake, and that's basically how it breathes. What I'm going to do, or what I've done on the other one and I'm going to prepare to do on this one, is I'm going to find as close to center as I can, and I'm going to punch it, I'm going to drill it, I'm going to tap it, and I'm going to run the external breathers on it. What I will have to do is find a way to plug these holes, because I don't want to just keep, you know, pulling extra oil through there and pulling it through here. I want it to all go to one spot. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to tap and run a bolt through there. I don't really like the idea of just, you know, plugging it full of silicone or something, because if it pulled that silicone out, it's going right into the engine. So whatever I put in here has the potential to go into the intake, and I don't want to do that. Maybe some JB Weld, some JB Weld might do it pretty well. I can kind of mix them up and pack it in there. That might be a feasible option, but again, that could break out just as easy. Send JB Weld into the engine. Tapping would be the best idea, and just sticking a bolt in it with some red Loctite. I run into an issue with these right here. So we're gonna start with the one we know we can do. I'm gonna find center, tap it, drill it, or drill it, tap it, and then I'll figure out what to do here. So it may be hard to see, but I've got center marked right there. Got a tiny little center punch, and now we're going to drill them out. For our 1/8 inch NPT tap, we need a 21/64 drill bit, which is what we've got here. What is it?
The tiny gummy worms covered in supposed to be salad stuff, but they're not even sour.
That's pretty good. But you're right, that's not very sour. It looked, for a second it looked like the threads barely bit in, but I think we're good. All right. A lot of glitter, a lot of dust there. We're gonna have to clean that out better. Now, what to do about these two holes here? So I found this Schrader valve tool, and that seemed to work pretty well, but I don't feel like it bit very well. And I don't know where I'd ever get a plug for a Schrader valve. It's number 12. I was thinking I'd bet a number 10 would fit pretty well, but 1032. That actually feels to be almost exactly what I tapped it to. No, not quite. Let's tap it out to number 1032, because I can get that just about anywhere. So I wasn't happy with the way the bolts fit, which I had some. We're gonna drill these out. All right, so I cut the heads off a bolt, put a little slot in it so I can get a little pocket screwdriver in there. And that's what we're gonna use to fill the holes. But like I said, I never, ever want these to come undone after this point. So we're not gonna use thread locker. We're gonna use something better. Okay, gotta be quick here. I should have started with one hole at a time in hindsight. Don't ever fill two holes at once. That's gonna need some time to harden, but it went well. So I got those little, there were some like passageways here that I ground down to make room to clear for these holes. Quarter 28 holes. I have a feeling those are going to be extremely solid at some point very, very soon. Forever changing my mind on how I operate here. I had the bright idea to peen these holes, so these are never going to spin again. Even though this JB Weld has not set up yet, I got those peened. We're gonna get this on the bike. I want to see what it looks like. A little backstory. It's kind of a fun story. I've kept this big oval dog dish on here for so long because this is kind of iconic to me on a twin cam 88. It goes back to my dad's first Harley. It was a 2000 Fat Boy. He got it in about 2005, and I'm like, how old would I have been? 12 years old? Yeah, I'd have been about 12 years old. my dad had his bike in the garage. His buddy had his bike in the garage. And I remember my dad's air cleaner looked just like this, but it said Twin Cam 88, Softail Fat Boy, something like that. And his buddy's bike that was over, it was an 80-inch Softail. And I didn't know the difference between an Evo and a Twin Cam. That wasn't for many years to come. But I remember going, my dad's got the 88. How cool is that? His has got the oval air cleaner cover. It's the 88. The circle one's only an 80. That's smaller. So that's my thought process there. Kind of why I've held on to that so long. Every time somebody asks me, why the hell haven't you changed your air cleaner cover? Well, or my intake in general, it's for that reason right there, man. I like that thing. I do also realize that I could be up higher on with the lift here, but I'm gonna throw this on real quick and this bike is gonna come right back off. Cause like I said, I'm riding to work tomorrow. It's gonna be like 55 degrees in the morning. Weather is cooling off. I gotta crush every mile that I can before it's freezing. Before that salt's on the ground. So I mean, this is extremely straightforward here. These are, I'll show you guys what I did here. I don't remember if I ever posted the video or not, but this was, oh, all right, I need to put the camera down. This was the janky external breather kit that I made, because I was noticing a lot of oil being taken in the intake. At the same time, I had done breathers, I'd done all the stuff you need to do to prevent the oil from even making it that far in the first place. But I figured, what the heck. So this is, I drilled that hole in that bolt. I drilled the hole on the side there. I got some sealing washers. Now let's see if I can get these hoses off. Oh, okay, I didn't quite want to do that, but hey, that's off. Let's go get our fittings swapped around. The long one on the left. This will kind of be the moment of truth if I drilled my holes good enough. I'm going to test fit, of course. We're going to put some thread sealer in there. So this one kind of sucks because with the position of this arm here, I had to kick it out a little bit more as to where this one was in a little bit. There was none of that extra stuff, but nevertheless, it'll work all right. I am going to take the time. I'm going to find some of my special sheathing and I'm going to make this look a little more decorative like the bottom side is, because it's going to be a little bit more visible. This is not the end goal here. I'm going to actually end up making some hard lines. I'm going to bend some tubing that comes down and around, and I'm going to fish it real clean, because these holes don't have to be very big. I mean, oh, I hope I didn't cause interference here. These are protruding a little bit. I got to check some stuff real quick. All right, I've got the book underneath me with the torque specs that I need. I've got this cleaned up, looks a little nicer. Now we're going to take the time to start putting the pieces together. So these have a little groove spot for our O-rings. If you're having trouble getting them to seat in there, grab a little grease, which I might actually go do. So we're going to take some blue Loctite on these 3 studs. Or do we hold on. Yeah, we're gonna put them in here first. I don't want to try to thread them into this and ends up being a whole mess. And then that way I'll be able to control the torque a little bit better too. Get our gasket lined up. I'm gonna get some more Loctite on these threads. I don't want to get these tight yet. I'm just running them in a little bit. I'm going to make sure to get the top bolts set in as well. Get a little bit of Loctite on these. And this is why you don't want to go crazy tightening stuff down, because it needs a little room to shift. I'm going to kind of just get everything self-aligned. Now the small bolts, let's see, a page shift here, 20 to 40 inch-pounds, and the breather hollow bolts 124 to 142 inch-pounds. So we'll do these at 130. Back these off to 35. That's it for that. It must be random placement for the stamping, but I've never understood on these big suckers why the Arlen Ness A is not positioned at the top. Forgot my Loctite. Looks good. I don't really like the way this hose looks right here anymore. But trust me when I say that's temporary. Night and day difference. That cleans up so much. So traded work for the intake cover. I picked up the chrome cover for like 25 bucks on eBay. It really does change the whole look of that bike there. The red, so that won't last, but the red looks really nice with the red on the tank. Cool. Let's wrap that up. Thank you guys for watching that little transformation. That is the cheapest way I know how to make an external breather. There's obviously more to it because I already had a lot of this work done. But I mean, the parts are minimal. If you've got a little bit of want and a little bit of patience and a little bit of drive, then you can avoid spending $150 on like a Trask external breather kit, or the price ranges vary a lot. I would bet for parts to make this, we're less than 30 bucks, including the filter that I have at the bottom of it. So now I've got an Arlen Ness intake and still have my external breather. So thank you guys for watching. Check out the merch, check out the Patreon, check all that stuff out. If you're not interested in any of that, then do me a favor, send this video to someone you know, someone you think that'll find it useful. Like, drop a comment, whatever it might be. You guys interacting with the channel goes a long way. Thank you for your support, no matter how it is that you show it. We'll see you in the next video.